Big match at my house. I'll bring my guys. You have yours. I've got Junkyard Dog.
It's World Wrestling Federation Superstars.
I've got Brutus Beefcake. Here's Tori and Steel. I've got Great Hammer Valentine. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Yeah. They're so real.
And Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Can you tell the difference? Wrestling Superstars, they're for real. Each sold separately from LJN.
Yeah! Here's a game about climbing up and sliding down. It's called Chutes and Ladders. You can land on something good, like rescuing a kitten in a tree.
Ah, you're going up, up, up the ladder.
Or land on Break the Cookie Jar. First one to climb to 100 wins. Chutes and Ladders really has its ups and downs, but mostly it's lots of fun. Chutes and Ladders is a Milton Bradley game.
Imagine a store where you can get the jeans you've always wanted. Now at Kids Incorporated at Meyer & Frank, you can. San Francisco riding gear with neat stitching on the back pocket, now in sizes for boys and girls. And nowhere in the whole world can you get those terrific Lawman Painter jeans except Kids Incorporated. Lawman, a real favorite, and right now for the first time ever at Kids Incorporated. Famous label jeans in kid sizes in Kids Incorporated at Meyer & Frank.
For everything under the tree.
An Atari video computer system and game cartridges from Meyer & Frank. Now through Christmas, these cartridges and the video game system are specially priced. Easy to hook up and easy to play against a partner or one-on-one with the computer. Sports games, action games, thinking games, a wide selection to choose from, all specially priced through Christmas. Meyer & Frank, all stores.
For everything under the tree.
53 to nothing. This team could use some magic.
Bake the magic.
Open the door to a wonderful show.
With Pillsbury chocolate chip cookies.
Bake the magic of popping fresh dough. Hot chocolate chips when the other guys won. So chewy, ooey, gooey, they're a bunch of fun.
They tackled those cookies.
You can make magic, you know we did. With the magic of popping fresh dough.
Top cleaning jobs is Snap with the Daisy Power Scrubber. Cleans upholstery, carpets, even grout and tile, and it's completely portable, now just $29.98. Send for the rebate, your final cost is just $26.98. It's another great season to shop at Fred Meyer.
Now, please pay attention. It's the latest thing, accurate to 100 feet in daylight or night.
Nice balance.
2 settings, narrow and wide beams.
Electronic sighting. Ingenious.
Obvious notion, actually. This is your star sensor. Registers up to 6 tags.
I hope it doesn't ruin the fit of my jacket.
Can't you take anything seriously?
Relax. It's only a game.
Laser tag. Available and moving at the speed of light.
Is the ale man? Who can he be? Who is the ale man?
He's Colin Ratsey, famous sail manufacturer, company president, ale man. A man with a thirst for a manlier brew. Day is done, the race is won. Now hear this, all hands on deck for enjoyment. And that could only mean ale, Ballantine ale. Ballantine, the ale man's ale. Bolder, keener, more to the point. The choice of 3 out of 4 ale men among all national brands. Let Ballantine make an ale man out of you.
Who is the ale man? He could be you. A man with a thirst for a manlier brew. 3 out of 4 men every time choose the bolder, keener tasting ale. Ballantine.
Presenting Jewel's Sugarless Gum with so much more flavor, people forget it's sugarless.
Where is the word sugarless?
Jewel's has such fabulous flavor, I forgot. It's easy to forget Jewel's is sugarless. Compare Jewel's to Carefree. Jewel's has a delicious flavor center, and Jewel's has 29% more flavor.
Hey, this Jewel's tastes great, and It's sugarless, dummy.
Try Jewels. So much more flavor, you'll forget it's sugarless.
Whoa! What's up, everybody? Sorry, Prostate. Ring that bell. That's right. Subscribe. Do all that shit. Throw me money, too, if you want to. I don't care. It's Sunday. You know what that means. It's time for some ice cream. Got my mic's a little overmodulated there. Sorry about that, y'all. I'm pegging the odometer over here. Yeah, sorry, man. Here's the deal. I love talking to people. All right, it's a huge treat to me, and I named this show Ice Cream because most people think ice cream's a treat. Today's guest is a special person. His name is not UFO. Okay, he may be a UFO. I don't know. We'll find out. All right. I've done a lot of I've done a lot of like multi people streams with this guy. Always has something snarky to say, which I love about him. Ladies and gentlemen, today's guest is known as Sheogorath. What do you want me to call you, dude?
Hi.
Hey, man.
Sheo's fine.
All right. Hey, Sheo. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great.
All right, good. All right. We had to come out of that gate with a roar. You know what I'm saying? Set the tone. Get that energy up there. That's right. Get your adrenaline up, people. Well, Sheo. Oh, there goes the channel. Terry's throwing daggers at your ass, man. I don't know. Terry. You know.
Bad Terry.
He's all right. Hey, for an Australian, he's not a bad guy. You know, I've seen worse. On that note, all right. So basically, the show's about talking to you. And finding out, more about you. Of course, we'll start at the YouTube because that's kind of what unites us all, right? And then I've got questions about you, and like we were talking earlier, and then by the time we're through, we'll be back and we'll be talking about YouTube again. And on that note, let's go to the dog eating gone cat room. The background music is just a little too loud for IRATE. If it's too loud for you, just let me know, chat, okay? All right, here we go. Yeah. The blue screen. I don't know why it does that, but the chat should be ready to roll. I think I've got everything fixed in this environment. Look at the moving fund. Okay, it's Uzi and I are moving, at the end of the summer, so we're going to need some money to do that, and some extra money, and if people can help with that, that would be awesome. I'm just putting it out there because Excel said it was a good idea. But I'm not here for a grift. I'm here to talk to people. All right? I'm here to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of bubble gum. So, Sheo?
Yes.
Greetings.
Howdy. How's it going, everybody? How's it going, chat? I'll behave.
That's right. Yeah, it looks like okay. Everybody's starting to roll in too. It's like I guess I don't know. I got to find something more interesting, obviously, to do for the countdown thing because everybody's like, fucking skip that. I don't know.
You mean is the Good Morning Vietnam screen didn't help?
I don't know. That might have drawn people, actually. I think that could have been heard, maybe some of those aliens that are supposedly rocking around here might have heard that or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, as long as they don't probe you.
Yeah, that's right. Not touching the culo. All right, so I've got some questions here. All right, the first one I always talk about is ask, how long have you been around YouTube, and what was the main reason you started, hanging around and using YouTube as social media?
So I mean, I kind of hopped on YouTube early as far as videos and content, because it used to be Google Video and then YouTube itself, but then they bought out YouTube. So I've been watching stuff on YouTube for a long while, but as far as chatting, like 2016, 2017 or so, just found some a couple nice communities, a couple engaging chats, and just kind of stuck around.
Yeah, was it the political stuff that drew you in, or?
I mean, some of my hobby stuff, some of the political stuff, sure. Monkey saying that, oh, you like the pun humor. Well, Cryptic has better, and that kind of took that as a challenge.
Oh, it did.
Not one to be one-upped.
That's right. Tell us more about that.
Well, I mean, back in the day when you could actually say things in super chats, we'd go back and forth telling lame, stupid jokes, sometimes morbid, sometimes innocent, which I am, by the way, innocent. But no, I mean, if found Monkey through bearing through just. At the time, I was injured and out of work, so I had a lot of free time and a lot of availability to listen to things. So I just put on something, go about my day, and
you said you had a hobby.
Yeah, I mean, I plenty of hobbies, but it's some collectibles, some playing games. Just at the time, it gave me something to do. So.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. You know, you're not the only one. I've heard, you know, a lot of people say that, you know, being late, being where they had to stay still, you know, had a lot to do with it, right? Different circumstances for everybody. So, all right. So, why did you choose the name Sheogorath? A, and B, what does it mean? And C, how much of what people see on the internet would you say is real? All you.
So, the reason I chose the name, when I was looking for something that I could use in this realm, this sphere of the internet, if you've played the Elder Scrolls games, or in particular Oblivion or Skyrim, there's a character called Sheogorath, who is a god of madness, essentially. And I figured that with the type of jokes and the type of stupid things that I would say, kind of fit the personality. So I went with it. And then when the wife joined shortly thereafter, she chose the name Wabbajack because that's his weapon in the game. Essentially, whenever you cast it, it has the ability to do one of anything random from a huge list of things. So it could turn an enemy into a rabbit. It could turn, 8,000 damage, or just a bunch of random effects.
Right.
And she figured that was a good common name to go with.
Right. It's good to have a woman to back you up, man. So if you
then
you weaponize the woman, man, you got
Oh sure.
You can
we've been
step
together.
back and let shit happen. That's what I do.
Yeah. There's a whole lot of watch this shit. No. And as far as the online personality, I mean, a lot of the actual interactions and whatnot but YouTube's kind of my outlet for being a shithead.
Okay.
As far as jokes or my morbid sense of humor, or psychologically, I mean, I have some excuses for that, but we'll get there.
Okay. All right. And we got the dulcet tones of the one and only Phil Daniel is playing in the background. Yes, it's very good stuff. Nice to echo feels like we're in the house, just sitting around, maybe the kitchen table, and somebody's in the other room playing a piano.
As long as we're not fighting over Monopoly, we're good.
Right on. So, all right, the first thing I always ask everybody is that, all right, so is there a food from your childhood that you hated? Excuse me. And now as an adult, you actually enjoy it. You actually prefer it, or you like it.
I mean, I was a picky kid, so there's a lot of things that I actually didn't like. It's like onions on burgers or ketchup, mustard, any toppings. So I'll have a plain hot dog. But I guess having moved to Texas, I really like Whataburger's spicy ketchup.
Mm.
And I found that it wasn't so much that I disliked ketchup per se, but it was how much they just slather on when you order plain. Uh, so I like getting the individual cup and pouring the little, just the taste of the ketchup on there.
Indeed. That's that's one I hear a lot too, is actual ketchup.
And then I guess maybe spaghetti, but only because my parents changed the recipe. So
oh yeah,
they used to have a whole bunch of vegetables in it, and zucchini in particular. I actually puked all over it as a kid.
Oh, dude.
But, now I just I don't mind a little sauce.
Yeah, I love that. Uzi makes this great zucchini pasta stuff, man. It's really good.
Nice.
I got a flavor for that too. All right, so who would you say? Describe your family growing up in one word.
In flux, I guess maybe.
What?
It's 2 words, but in flux.
In flux. Okay, I got it.
So, the parents weren't married until I was 6, just because Dad was off in the Iraq War, Desert Storm, Desert Shield. And when he came back over, essentially, they got hitched. They actually got married the week OJ was getting pulled over in Los Angeles. But then we've always been moving. So I've been through Montgomery. I've lived in Yuma, Japan, well, Okinawa anyway, Danielson, Louisiana until Katrina, and then Ohio briefly for a year, and now Texas. So, been everywhere.
That's cool. So, are you planning on like just dropping an anchor and staying in Texas, or if?
For the short term, yes. But long term, I want to move back to my home state, Minnesota.
Okay.
I just love the fishing, the weather there. I don't mind the snow.
Okay.
I can handle that a whole lot better than 110 degrees.
I thought you were going to say you wanted to burn some buildings down or some shit.
Oh,
right.
I mean,
that was supposed to be a joke. God, crash and burn. All right, crash.
A bit of a pyro.
Jeez. All right, so let's see. Who was the most influential person on you as a young kid?
Father Michael? No. Grandma, 100%. She lost her husband early to cancer. Raised her 3 kids. And then when I was born, she was just in her early 50s. So whenever Mom had to go to work or college or whatnot, she helped raise me and my cousin, my other cousin, shortly thereafterwards. So she really had a whole huge play in that developmental whatnots.
Right.
And she's still kicking. She's 87. Stage 4 rectal cancer, but still a lively old lady.
Fantastic. And I love hearing that kind of stuff, you know.
Well, and so sense of humor being passed down runs on that side of the family. Last time I was up there, she was renting a duplex that had one people on one side, people on the other, with like a split room.
Mm-hmm.
But her toilet seat, I swear to God, couldn't have been bigger than the size of a basketball. So I was telling my wife, it's like, love her. The house is nice, but I swear to God, she's got the smallest toilet seat. Like, impossible not to slap yourself when you try to sit down. And she goes, well, if you stop... Grandma interrupts me, and she goes, well, if you stop tugging that thing, it'll stop falling in.
So what kind of kid were you growing up?
So, only child, so definitely a bit spoiled.
Okay.
Essentially, anything entertainment-wise, we would do. So whether it was going to an amusement park or a fossil museum or getting the latest game system, we played a lot. Parents are younger too. They're just now entering their mid-50s, so there's a lot of overlap there. So whereas Dad may have wanted to play football, he played with me as well, Madden or what have you. Huge into sports. I played a few years until I got injured, but that's another story. Not all of us can be LeBron. Mike Trout.
All right, so all right, so you stated your family was in flux, and but what about like holidays, time, any time of year? Was there anything special for you as a kid?
Usually the summers, I would say. It's not really a holiday in the true sense, but
it's a time of year. It's the season.
Well, with school out, we'd go visit the relatives that were in other states, or drive up from Montgomery to Minnesota or catch a flight to visit aunts and relatives and grandmas, I guess. Recently
when
passed
you
away.
say Montgomery, which Montgomery are you talking about?
Alabama.
Okay, well,
Alabama, Prattville.
Dude, all right, Prattville, I know that. It's like about an hour from where I live.
Nice.
Yeah. So I thought when he said Montgomery, I'm like, what? I didn't know that, man. So
Yep, Dad worked at the Air Force Base there doing recruiting. It was
Maxwell.
So, Maxwell Air Force Base, indeed.
Yeah.
When the recruiters go out to all of the high schools and the wherevers, and they say, "Hey, we got a backpack, some water bottles, pencils." Well, somebody has to buy all of that and make sure that it's all run properly and the districts are all run. Yeah, that's what my dad did.
Yeah. Well, supply is an important, aspect of military that people don't understand.
Well, and after he got out of the infantry, they were like essentially, "Hey, find something else to do, or we're going to retire you."
Oh.
So he landed very appropriately in the supply/IT section.
Sweet. So if you could go back in time and talk to little Sheo at the age of 8, what would you say to yourself?
Take care of yourself. One, food. Everyone could stand to lose an extra 10 pounds, but shortly after, around that age, actually, I'd dislocated my shoulder for the first time. And since then, I've dislocated it 16 times. I'm up to 17.
Wow.
Found a source to it. Apparently, I have a genetic disorder that the collagen between the joints doesn't respond properly, so they're extra stretchy. So I have like all sorts of double jointed fingers and knuckles and everything else, and early arthritis, but it's not life threatening. So
right, it can be painful,
Oh yeah, I mean I can feel the rain coming a couple days away.
Yeah, I know how that is, man.
Stand up, my knee joints make sounds like cue balls popping in another.
Yeah, so you're playing billiards with your knees, right?
Yep.
Yeah, man. All right, so all right, what was elementary and middle school like for you?
So between I guess leaving elementary, we moved to Japan, so that was a huge culture shock. But elementary was great. I was never the most popular kid per se. Always moving. You never had that huge stable of friends that everyone else has. But I found a nice little niche. I'm still friends with a couple of them on Facebook and texting. So,
nice.
We always had the latest, newest game or gaming system. We go to Blockbuster and pick up the cheap $5, $10, $15 whatever game, but he found some gems too. Super Adventure Island or Tetris Attack or what have you. Yeah, just you had everyone come over on the weekends.
Right. So
Sleepovers were common.
right. So what was living in Japan like that at that point in time?
Well, so we moved September of '99. Actually, September 11th, 1999.
Oh, wow.
And we moved back in May of 2002. So actually, it's September 12th for me at the time. Anyway, excuse me. But we also got to see like the 30th anniversary of Nixon turning over the islands back to the Okinawans. As far as the bases, we briefly got to see Clinton. He showed up for a G8 summit that was there once.
Oh, wow.
It saw plenty of the Okinawans protesting the fact that we were there and yelling outside of the base, "You go home, you go home." I'm like, "Buy me my plane ticket, bitch."
Wow,
But
man.
it also set us up for an interesting experience. I learned a lot. I took a sixth grade trip to an island south of there that it's pretty remote, a couple thousand people. You got to experience what their sixth grade class does every day. Collected lots of Pokemon at the time, which apparently is worth a lot of money now. I had like the first 5 sets, and now those are like 5 digits each. Probably should have kept them.
Man, I know, man. There's all those regressive shit out there away too, man.
Oh, sure.
Let's see. All right. So, what about? Were you like an active kid? Did you ever do any dumb shit in the neighborhood that you didn't get caught for? What was
not caught for? So high school anyway. I found a online version of Unreal Tournament that didn't require an active code, and you could net play with other computers as long as they had access to it. But you had to set up a server for it. And in order to do that on the school campus, one of my friends lended me a laptop. I installed the server on it, and while the teacher was out, we plugged it into the projector outlet and hid it in the ceiling, and then plugged the projector into the other half of the outlet. I think it's still there, to be honest. And then gave everyone a copy that they could play with, so we'd connect to the laptop that's in the ceiling and play after doing our... Because at the time they were trying to branch into slightly more computer fields, so we'd have like Microsoft Word typing or formatting a PowerPoint. Like, who really needs to know how to format a PowerPoint now?
Right.
And I mean, it's a career prep, sure, and it's definitely helped with what I'm currently doing. But at the same time, you finish in an hour semester, you have a lot of downtime. And plenty of fireworks.
What about what was the most dangerous thing you did as a kid? You said you had a penchant for fire. Did that go anywhere?
The Roman candles. Light those, stand 20, 30 feet apart, try to shoot them at each other.
Yeah.
Nailed my wife dead between the eyes around a tree.
Dude.
Once. I don't know how it matrixed around the tree. And
curved around the tree.
Dead center between the eyes.
That's funny as shit.
But also,
sorry.
He's innocent. No, I mean, this was like a decade ago. Also, the mortar shells where you get the tube and the thing that you shove down it, light it, and shoots up a couple 100 feet and explodes.
Mm-hmm.
Intentionally putting those upside down so they only go up 5 feet. or out in an open field, tie like 6 of them together so they go nowhere, but then explode right there. Yeah.
Neat. All right. So, So what about the first time you either A, had an erection, or B, realized that chicks turned you on?
who said chicks to know.
oh, I was going to buy. Okay, well, then dudes, you know.
No,
It is what it is.
just cracking a joke. No,
Well, either you're gay or you're not gay. Yeah, I'm fucking with you.
probably. Well, I mean, you might be, but I'm not.
Mm.
No. The first time, oh boy, Panga, Boy Meets World, or a couple of those shows around that time, late '90s. Alex Mack, just some old Playboys that were in a bathroom at my uncle's house.
Ah, yeah.
Early '90s issues.
Yeah. Any particular models?
The blonde one with the big double D's.
That one. Oh yeah, I remember her. Man,
Indeed.
Dr. Kiev, I am not bisexual. I'm a trisexual. I'll try anything. Just kidding. I'm not.
Right.
Right. That's an old joke.
Trisexual. I'll try anyone.
Yes, but Dr. Kiev will be here next week, so she'll be she'll be getting the questions from me. Let's see. All right, so we talked about that. What about the first time? All right, what about the first time you were with a chick, like you and you know, romantic?
So I constantly moving around. I essentially said that I was going to give up until either high school or college. Just focus on my shit, get it all done with. But the first time, so long story short, after Katrina, parents gave me a choice. You can move with us to Dallas, go to however many high schools, or you can go to where your cousin is in Ohio, Dayton, and finish your senior year off with your cousin who's 2 weeks younger than you. Well, what 18-year-old doesn't want to leave their parents for at least 6-9 months, whatever it was.
Yeah.
So I spent some time with my aunt, my uncle, and my cousin. And I had a pending surgery to try to repair my shoulder, and got all of the chicks' attentions. So one in particular I was crushing over. I kind of told her just before winter break, "Hey, you need to introduce me to some of your friends because you seem to be in a relationship and fine, whatever. But maybe you got some friends." So she does, and I forget about it.
Maybe you got some friends with loose morals, right?
Well, I mean, you know.
I'm kidding.
So we'll move to Dallas after the end of senior year, graduate, get all of that shit done, walk, and I start chatting with some of the friends on AIM and Facebook that I'd met there, and they really hit it off with one lady who's my wife. And yeah, during the summer, made a ride up there, visited them, and just kind of made out on my aunt's futon while they were away getting lunch. And then one thing turns to another. And then a year or so later, proposed to her.
Nice. So that sounds like a kind of like a maybe a love at first sight kind of thing.
It's when you know, you know.
They happen, man. It really happens. You really, when you with the person you know it's them, you know it. And I don't know how to explain how you know it. It's just you have to experience it to understand.
Exactly. And I mean, we didn't get married until another 8 years at that point. But I mean, we were both going through college. We were both getting settled. We were both finding ourselves, and
right.
We were always kind of on the understanding that we eventually would. It was just a matter of when. And
right.
I mean, what's the rush?
Right. Exactly. You know, it's always good.
We had a long engagement period, but we were getting married. I think coming up on 5 years now. So
yay, good deal, man. All right. So, let's see. What about the first time you got fucked up? What was that like?
Okay. I've equally been near as fucked up, but the most fucked up I've been. And the first time I got fucked up. So at the time, Reddit used to do these meetups once a year, Arbitrary Day. Wherein, for no reason whatsoever, during the summer, people would get together in your local region and party and go out, have adventures, do whatever. In our case, for Dallas, they decided that we go up to a lake that's just north of here. Somebody would buy a cabin or two, and just get shit-faced. I mean, play some games, do whatever, frisbee, disc golf, whatever. Plenty of people swimming half naked. So this year, that year in particular, we showed up, and the first thing we see is a guy completely tipsy off his ass with an empty bottle of Jaeger, stumbling around, waving at us and yelling Jaeger. Like, okay, buddy. So I step out of the car, and he goes face plant first into the dirt. He's completely out of it. But he goes, yeah, he started drinking 30 minutes ago. The bottle was full. Like, oh, fuck. So, anyway, not one to be outdone. Took a red Solo cup and filled it like 70% full of tequila. Big mistake. And like 30% of mix and soda. I had eaten, so I figured it was good for drinks. And slam that one. Slam the next 3. I start walking about, and I decide.
So you're like slamming tequila, right?
At the time,
the whole night. Oh God, I know where this is going. Yeah.
Well, so young and dumb, I didn't know any better. I start mixing Crown and Cokes because I've had a Crown and Coke before. Me and Crown are on good terms. So I mix way overzealous shots. The 70-30 mixes and shit. Slammed 2 or 3 of those. Went back to tequila and margarita mix. And previous guy seemed to like Jaeger, so let's do Jaeger and Red Bull. That'll wake me up. Red Bull's good. It again, huge 70 party mix of tequila, the Jaeger and Red Bull. And then some guy walks up and is like, hey, let's celebrate. Here, drink this. I'm like, oh, okay. Drink whatever it was he handed to me. It tasted like root beer. Apparently it's some sort of vodka mix.
Right.
And then they're like, hey, we got Jello shots over there if you want some of those. I'm like, okay, a couple of those down. This is over the span of 30 minutes.
Dude, holy shit. Okay.
I proceed to decide that at this point I will have 2 more glasses. So was it your mission to get fucked up? I mean, yeah, essentially.
Okay. Because you're definitely executing the perfect plan.
I did, very much so. So I decide that I was going to have 2 more drinks and then take a seat. I was saying that she had to go to the bathroom, so I had 1 more tequila 70-30 red Solo cup mix and 1 more Crown and Diet. And I think someone else handed me 1 more drink to drink, so I had 3 in that span. So I sit down, and here's the rest of what I remember for the rest of the night. Some guy sat down next to me. I was talking to him. I was screaming. I was arguing that I didn't want to get in the ambulance. I woke up briefly in the hospital, apologizing to the wife that I got that fucked up. I remember stumbling to the car, my dad saying, you better not piss in the back seat. Me saying, I've got to go pee. Dad stumbling me to the bathroom and me waking up on the couch in the next morning. Now, what actually happened was, apparently I did one of those hey buddies and I dislocated my shoulder while doing it. While tapping a guy on his back.
Right.
Ripped out the shoulder. Apparently there was 2 nurses or the first aid types. Apparently one of them got it popped back in place, so the ambulance ride was unnecessary. But get to the hospital, they get me checked out, and their only comment was, "He's fucked up." Shoulders in place, he's good to go.
He's a wee bit drunk. Man.
Yeah, so of course I wake up the next morning and Dad's like, "Hey, do you want some runny eggs? How about a beer? You want some tequila?" And to this day, if I smell tequila that's
Oh my
not
God.
mixed in a margarita, I cannot shoot it.
Dude, man, I tasted fucking my worst hangover ever was a tequila hangover too, dude. And it was like the next day I had to work, right? So I'm still like half drunk off the shit still. And everything tastes a cigarette, fucking water, everything tasted like tequila. I could smell it everywhere. And I was just like, having to like go out and vomit into the grass and then come back, and work some more. It was fucked up, man. I will never, man. And I never drank tequila after that, man. I know that feeling.
He used to be a good tequila shooter, and I can only do margaritas now. I literally, some sort of mental block that will tell me, "Hey, remember the last time you did this? Let's not do that."
This is some cheap shit that a college professor had brought back from Mexico because his ex-wife was a Mexican, right? And it had like all these black peppercorns in it, man. It tasted horrible.
usually a bad sign, sure.
Yeah, man. I hurled a little bit, and I thought the window was open, but it wasn't in the car. So,
done that one.
Yeah, it's flat.
Open the door while someone's
driving.
driving.
The girl I was with was so mad at me, man. Jesus, that's funny. Yeah.
Well, and at least with Crown diets, you can't have a Diet Coke the next day because all you're going to taste is the Crown.
Fair enough. Dude, that's nice reminiscing about the bad tequila hangovers.
Indeed.
You're in the club, bro. All right? Fist bump.
And that's the thing. It's the dad that was in the military. Both grandfathers were in the military, and we're German, Norwegian, English. We can handle our alcohol,
right?
But that night I went with the intent to get fucked up.
Oh, good old mezcal, man.
Indeed,
tequila. Let's see. Where am I? Oh, yeah. Okay. What about, were you ever active in sports?
Well, like I said, I'm a huge sports fan. I in high school, played a good bit. I played a couple youth leagues here and there. But injuries always seem to derail me. Just really clumsy, which, as it turns out, is part of my disorder.
Well, I mean, at least you know what's going on with that, you right?
Sure. I mean, it took 15, some dislocations and 2 surgeries later to figure that out. But no, it's spatial relations. So, like, when I'm walking, my foot thinks that it's actually 1 inch to the right, and it's actually 3 inches, so it'll smack into a wall constantly. Or trying to judge a ball that's incoming and think you can catch it with the glove, but it bounces down. So instead, you decide to try to catch it with your free hand and break your ring finger. You used to be really good at diving for catches. I played in the outfield. Huge area for me to run in. I had like one of the strongest arms on usually the teams that I would play on. But when I would come down, I would catch it, but my wrist would snag underneath me. So, span of about 9 months, I broke, fractured, and sprained my wrist.
Man,
3 separate incidences.
Crazy. What about? Did you ever like learn any musical instruments or anything, or are you an artist, or
Not myself, but I have a deep love for the art, for music itself. My aunt was a DJ in the Washington area during the huge 90s whatnots, and she really helped further that along. So like the Soundgardens, the Nirvanas, the Stone Temple Pilots, even some of the lesser known names like Catbutt. Soul album is Journey to the Center of Catbutt.
Catbutt.
Indeed, or like 64 spiders. Some deep cuts. But no, I mean Yar Har and all. But I have a huge like 1 terabyte drive filled with music that I mean you find one band or the guitarist springs off and finds his own separate band. And, well, similar music, you like that too?
Sure,
as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It was like like what Tempo the Dog and Audio Slave. Chris Cornell did so much. Extracurricular stuff. Yeah, no shit, man. Brilliant singer, talent, musician, all around, great songwriter. Let's see. So that's pretty cool, though, the grunge thing. What was the first concert you ever went to?
So 2 answers for you. The first concert I chose to go to and the first concert I went to.
Okay.
We're a close family, so we usually did a lot of the things together just because, well, there's nothing to do. But the first concert that we went to, it was the Beach Boys. Oh, the name escapes me. Fastball and some other similar 90s rock-ish band that'll come to me in a second. But the first concert I chose to go to, in North Dallas, they have an arts festival. It was a bunch of retreads, but they had a Pink Floyd tribute band, Soul Asylum from my home state.
Yes.
And what's the name? Better Than Ezra.
Oh yeah, okay. I know them too.
Soul Asylum finished out the night, and they invited us back up to the hotel. Anybody that wanted to drink Dos Equis. So it was an interesting night.
Nice. So that was pretty cool.
Party with the guys for like an hour or so.
Yeah. Yeah, Better Than Ezra, man, was that rings Soul Asylum, man, was a great band.
You could say that they were good.
They were what?
You could say that Better Than Ezra was good.
Yeah.
That's one of their top singles. Good. Shoot you a link.
All right, so we did right. So, all right, you married. Wubba. What are you guys planning on having children or anything?
We'd love to. It's more a matter of when it happens than not for lack of trying. Put it that way.
I feel you. No, yeah, I totally get it.
So some people have not as easy of a time, and we're going through some shit, but well, it's definitely something we want.
All right, so so we'll shift gears and kind of get into more of your tastes and stuff. What about, all right, so are you a fan of horror films?
70s horror, well. So like The Exorcist, The Omen, Amityville.
Nice. Classic.
Ghost Haunty. All the 80s stuff like the Nightmare on Elm Street, sure.
Sure.
But more of the psychological house haunty horror.
Nice. Let's see. What was that movie with Roddy McDowell, man? It wasn't The House on Haunted Hill. It was The Legend of Hell House. The old one, yeah, with Roddy McDowell. It's really a good movie. Very, very atmospheric. All right, so what about, are you, what floats your boat? Like, are you a sci-fi person, or do you go for cop dramas, or what What gets your attention? What grabs your attention?
Well, movie-wise, sure. Kind of the turn of the century humor comedies. So like Euro Trip or American Pie, or some of those comedy movies have been quite the same. The other go one of two ways nowadays. They go for the stoner humor, and there's nothing wrong with that, or go the route of just the Ghostbusters 2016. That's not my fancy. Super Troopers.
That's interesting. You said turn of the century, and I was. That tells you how old I am.
Millennium?
Yeah, back in the day, turn of the century meant fucking, 1900. Nah, it's 2000. Wow. All right, sorry about that. Yeah,
Some sci-fi for sure. Wars over Trek, but I like both. Battlestar. It just depends.
Right.
Well, I mean, currently I've been watching The Shield.
Oh,
Seen
dude.
The Wire. Love The Wire. Haven't started The Shield yet, so just watched episode 1 last night.
Nice. Both of those are just outstanding, great cop dramas, dude. Those are excellent choices. The Wire is incredible. I can't talk. It's like when you see a series where it's like the characters, and you like talk about them by name outside of the, you realize they're actors and shit, but the characters are so believable in the way that they're portrayed are so real.
Definitely.
They become
like Omar.
Yeah. No, and Stringer Bell and
completely believable character, and apparently the actor took it a little bit too personally because he started doing drugs on the side.
Yeah.
In Baltimore.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And that was when the shit was going down too.
Right.
It was a hot zone when they were filming there, man. And
not the best time, no.
The chick that played Snoop, she was a local, that they picked up.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's a great character too. I love.
I love when movies will take someone that's knows the thing or knows the area more so than their actual acting ability. So, like Miracle, for the hockey movie. They chose people that could skate and had played hockey before they chose good-looking dudes.
Right.
Fill the Disney role.
Right.
It makes it more believable.
Yeah. No, I see. I know exactly. It's like the scene where, all right, so at the beginning of season 4 of the Wire, it opens up with her at the I think it's a Home Depot type store, right? It's a big box, and she's asking this dude about nail guns.
Nail guns, yeah. Which one's the Mercedes? The Cadillac, maybe? I don't know. Whichever car.
Yeah, and he tells her, that they've got one that's like powder activated, like gunpowder charges, right? And he tells her how it works and stuff, and she bought it and gave him extra money and shit.
Oh yeah, just handed over a wad of cash.
And she gets into Chris and tells him, I got 27 calibers of pure mayhem here. It's excellent, man. Then she told the salesman, said, "You earned that buck like a motherfucker." That was funny.
Delivery.
That's a good series, man. Just and they say that the main characters in the Boondocks are based on Snoop and Chris.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. All right, so let's see. All right, so do you have a favorite book or what about games? What kind of games do you prefer playing?
Well, I'm going to get some shit for this, but for just solely for the social aspect of it, I do play a good bit of Fortnite. But it's more sit around with friends that I know and bullshit while we're playing the game than it is the gameplay itself. But outside of that, I do play a good bit of the sports game still. So MLB The Show or NHL 21 is on my PlayStation. But also Doom, Final Fantasy especially. And then moving away from the PS4, the Nintendo series is Mario's, the Zeldas, the
nice
main core series.
Yeah, man, Zelda seems like a unifying game for everybody. I mean, I see. I never played it, man.
Solid title.
Yeah, yeah. But the title was like, I thought it was about a girl, right? I thought it was a girl's game.
They definitely didn't choose that, but
it's definitely a Japanese thing, right?
Well, exactly.
Yeah,
but I like the exploration aspect of it. So, like, in the first one,
no. It's just, man, it's like, I mean, so many people have answered that that Zelda was one of their, the big influential games in their lives, man. I mean, I wish I had a nickel for every time I've heard it.
Definitely. I mean, when the first game starts you, it's like, hey, here's a sword and go do whatever. You gotta kind of find out, well, what can I do with this? What does it do? Okay, well, fine. Well, now I've got bombs. What can I use the bombs on? Oh, by the way, there's some hidden sections that you bomb that you can get extra stuff. It's really kind of cool to that, and I think that's why I started to pick up some of the RPG type games. So Final Fantasy 9 or 10 or 11. Also, the Elder Scrolls series. So, hey, here's your pick a character D&D-esque. In particular, I like playing the Khajiit, the cat race. Not because I'm a cat girl type. Fuck that weird shit. But go forth, explore caves, dungeons, take out people. It's my kind of jig.
Right. All right. So, what about? Let's see. What about comics? Were you ever a big comic fan?
Not the hugest, but I definitely love the inspirations that came from it. So the original Batman movies, Batman the Animated Series. It's kind of a bigger DC person than a Marvel, but I go with what's interesting. I read the entire run. No, I don't have a furry suit. Fuck you know.
Hey, save the questions for when I ask for them, okay? Because I forgot to tell the chat to write down any questions they might have and hold on to them, and then we'll get to them, and I will definitely ask. So sorry about that.
Oh, of course, no. But also lost my train of thought. What was the question again?
Well, all right. So we were talking about favorite TV, comic books, stuff like that.
Comic books, right? That's where I was going. Yes. Yeah. But I also ran through the entire run of The Walking Dead before it was popular, before the series.
Yeah.
Decent-ish show, but nah. Breaking Bad is better.
Indeed.
And some of the independent one-shots, there's actually a Zelda comic.
Oh, really?
They're kind of cool. All the Japanese defied whatnot.
So is Zelda a futa in that comic?
Not the ones I read.
That's a term I threw out there. SMG school meal and that shit during his ice cream interview.
High-end X-Files series. I think Topps did it through DC. Those were interesting. Once the series had gone off the air, and those were the unofficial extra seasons.
Oh wow!
Or like Firefly did those.
Yeah, man. I didn't pick up on any of that stuff, but yeah, it was. I remember when they were popular. I might have the first edition. I think I might have the first couple. I don't know. Yeah, I've got a worthless. Well, I don't know if it's worthless, but I've got a really good collection of shit from the 80s and 90s and early aughts.
As long as you don't eat the bubble gum.
Yeah, really. All right. So, what about anime? Are you a big anime fan?
Not particular. I've watched a few, and I think maybe it's just because I was actually living in Japan at the time, or that I have lived in Japan rather. I got my fill of it while I was there, and I think really the only one that I watch or would watch are the Pokemon or tie-in series.
Got you. Got you. All right, so this is
nothing wrong with those that watch them. It's, well, for the most part. I mean, there's definitely some obsessive weird freaks, but if you want to sit down and watch an anime, hey, so be it. But
yeah, I understand. I understand exactly where you're coming from. It's I don't know, half of them I don't like, and I don't get. And the art is really bad. But the one that, I really love good art and stuff, man. So I'll let a story kind of, lower its standards a wee bit, if the visuals are worth it.
Oh, sure. Well, and that's the thing, if done right, I don't have an issue with those. But some of them, the stories that they go through or the fucked up shit that they display, it's like either we didn't drop enough nuclear bombs or we dropped one too many. Y'all fucked up.
Yeah. It was really interesting how they sublimated that with the Godzilla.
Right.
That's an exercise in psychology. I would love to see a paper about that. All right, so this is all right. So this is a point. All right, I ask you. All right, what about do you have a spirit animal?
My cats.
Okay.
I've always been a huge cat person. Not again, no furry outfits, none of that weird shit. But I've just we've always had them around in the family, and I'm way more of a cat person than a dog person. Non-confrontational, but not too much in personality online.
Right.
And much like a cat, I have more than one life. When I was a kid, the diagnosis was that my fever would shoot up, so way above where it's supposed to be. And one round in particular, I had 3 or 4 seizures at the point. One in particular actually flatlined me for like 5-6 minutes. And they got the temperature under control. Came back to life. Hey, still here. Haven't had a seizure since.
Dude.
Think of that what you will.
Right. All right. What about scars? Do you have any scars, tattoos, or piercings?
No tattoos, no piercings. Few prominent scars. Again, I've had 2 surgeries on my shoulder, so I got several of those. I've got a couple major scabs on my knee. The huge apple juice jars. Broke 2 in the tub. Have a good 1-inch slit by 1/2 inch wide on both kneecaps. And then interesting story. Uncle had an old yellow boat, boat of a car, from the 70s, God knows when. But the radio antenna was snapped off, so it was only 5-6 inches up from the
right
hood, from the hood.
Yeah,
and we'd always play on that thing because it's metal and it's not like you're leaving a dent. It's a 4-year-old. But one day we heard a plane flying overhead, so we wanted to investigate. So me and my cousin hopped up on top of the car and we were looking around. And kids are dumb. I hopped off thinking I could fly and scraped the hell out of my ankle. Got a 2 or 3 inch gash from the radio antenna. Had to get a tetanus shot and everything. But come to find out, that plane later crashed that same day.
Wow. Crazy.
Oh.
All right, so do you have an ideal tattoo if you did get one? Do you have an idea of what it would be?
I mean, outside of family, in getting the names of the grandparents. I never got to meet either of my grandfathers. They both died early. Mom's dad when he was 39, and dad's dad when he was 46. But wife's name, parents' name, both grandmas. And maybe one of the symbols from Zelda, the Triforce, the triangle, whatnot shape.
Let's see. Hold on a second. I have an itchy eye. Damn it! I can't read and scratch my eyes at the same time. It's just impossible. All right. So, if you could know the absolute and total truth to one question, what would that be?
Jokingly, when my teams are actually going to win something. There's been no the Minnesota sports teams have not played in the final round or championship round of any of the 4 major sports since 1991.
What about college ball?
Not even winning. I mean, they won a few hockey the hockey championships. Minnesota hockey, please.
Right. Well, that makes sense.
If it counts, the WNBA teams have won 4 titles in the 2010s. More honestly, how much time I have left? 1, again, legally, already been dead. But 2, like I said, my grandfather died of his 9th heart attack at 46. My dad's had about 6 heart attacks in his late 40s. I'm in no shape and have heart issues. And mom's dad died of stomach cancer at 39. So I'm only 33, ticking here.
All right, so if you could know the truth, an absolute truth to one question, what would it be?
That's what I said.
Okay.
Know when I die.
All right. So we'll see. All right. It ties in with this question. That's why I thought you were answering this other question. If you could go back in time and spend a week with anyone, who would it be and why?
Anyone. Probably either of the grandfathers. Never got to meet him. But both led really interesting lives. One got tons of military medals in the military in the Korean War. The other ran a rather successful business of his own. I'd love to just have a conversation with him.
Absolutely. You know, it's like I have a similar aspiration. You know, if I could go back in time, I would talk to my grandmother actually, and ask her a question or two. All right. So, what's the most useless talent you have?
Going in with my genetic disorder, Ehlers-Danlos. I'm super flexible. So for a guy my size, I shouldn't be able to do half the things I can as far as flexibility wise. But I can bend most of my fingers back to touch the back of my palm, including my thumbs.
But can you suck yourself off? That's the question. Everybody.
No, unfortunately, I have a couple extra ribs and way too much pounds.
That's Rebecca.
Oh,
That's
no,
you know, right. That's a cringe question, so I had to ask it. You know, I have to, you know, put my mark on this thing somewhere.
Entertain the people. No, but I mean, I can also move my nostrils or my ears, my eyebrows. I can roll my tongue.
Oh wow! See, that's a genetic thing, you know. Not everybody can do that. Lucy can't do it. But then again, anyway, she does other things with her tongue that I appreciate.
Speaking of removing ribs.
Let's see. All right. So in 40 years, what do you think people will be nostalgic for?
Well, so going back to Pokemon, that seems to be really huge right now, just because people who were kids then want it now. So I would say in 40 years, something that's popular in 20. I mean, that's a kind of a cop out. I would hope that some of the comic movies are done. They've kind of run their course. And hell, maybe even movies. I mean, we don't have theaters anymore for the most part.
Pretty much.
They're now starting to stream online. Yeah, that's just maybe a good answer. The theaters and concerts, live events.
Yeah. You think VR will eventually replace that?
I mean, there's something to be said about going to an event and meeting people and actually being in the presence of people. Not so much for me because I'm kind of a huge introvert, but there's something to be said about seeing something in person.
Yeah. Especially sports and shit like that, you know?
Oh, sure.
You know, it's can you imagine?
I mean, I was recently at the when the Rangers got no hit in Arlington here, first time ever. But I try to catch a couple games a year, and yeah, watching. I watched several on TV. Watched a couple perfect games after whatever inning. But actually being in person, there's nothing like it.
All right, so and this is Becca is going to ask this anyway, so I might as well ask you: do you have any strange collections?
Strange collections. I mean, I as a means to fill time, my parents gave me some choices as far as what to collect as a kid. So I have a box full of postcards somewhere, or at least they do in the house.
Nice.
But no, when me and the wife, we finally shacked down and got married, we kind of drove across state to attend a convention for our industry. And in every state, we stopped and picked up a rock. So, like, this one's from New York, this one's from Pennsylvania, this one's from Maryland, this one's from whatnots as our
that's cool
honeymoon rocks, and we've placed them in our cactus garden.
Nice, man. I dig that. That's very unique. All right, so this is the point where I ask you what's called the Lipton questions or pivot questions. Charles Lipton did a great series called Inside the Actor Studio. He interviewed like very famous people within very in-depth, questions, right? It's too big brain for what I'm doing, right? But in every episode though, he would ask the interviewee these 10 questions, and it's kind of the idea is kind of a rapid fire response. So we don't need to ponder. In other words, no need to ponder. Just say the first thing that pops to your head, right? Right. Like, what's your favorite word?
Fuck. Usually the first thing that comes out of my mouth anyway. Fuck.
Okay. What's your least favorite word?
Squishy.
Ooh. What's all right? So, what turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
Engage in conversation.
What turns you off?
Actually, smoking.
Okay. What's your favorite curse word?
I mean, I said fuck, but I'll say that. Quad waffle.
I like that. I say twat waffle, or tush wookie. Tush wookie's a goodie, I think. It's a winner.
Maybe cunt. Maybe cunt.
Yeah. Well, all right, what sound or noise do you love?
Sports-wise, sound of ball hitting a bat. children.
What sound?
And not in a, like a Father Michael, but just that unadulterated laughter, uninhibited,
the joy,
unburdened.
the joy,
unburdened.
Yes, the screams and stuff, man. It's like, it's a good positive noise, I think. All right. So, what sound or noise do you hate?
Sound of a car crash. I got 2 herniated discs from one, so I hate the sound of screeching tires. It gives me a little PTSD when I hear it.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
I mean, sports are out. I really love what I'm doing, semi-related, but maybe play-by-play, announcing.
All right, and what profession would you not like to do?
Anything out in the public. Right. And not so much for the public itself, but I'm just not an outgoing, engaging person.
And if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say to you when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Your family and friends are waiting.
Nice. Well, good. All right. And so this is the time the chat's supposed to be injecting questions for you in here. I see some words here. Douche fuck. Did I say something wrong? Did I say something besides James Lipton? All right. What's your favorite sports team?
The Minnesota ones. So, at basketball, we quite literally have the worst record of any of the 4 major sports, so I tend not to pay attention to basketball. I also find the game kind of boring. But huge into the Twins, huge into the Wild. Vikings whenever they don't disappoint me, which is never.
The Vikes. That's right. All right. What about pineapple pizza? Yes or no?
In the right mood. I don't mind it, but I don't prefer it.
Mr. Scott wants to know, would you name your kid Eufia?
Oh, no. No, male definitely not. There's kind of a family name that my uncle has, my grandfather has, his father had, his father's father. It's long running. It's my middle name. Probably go with that for a male. Girl, I don't know. Definitely not that.
Okay, so what's your favorite cereal to eat out of a butt? That's FTW Neil asks. Neil.
Knew that was coming. Rice Krispies.
Okay.
Choco Rice Krispies.
What's your preferred? Of course, Choco, right? What's your preferred time of day?
Middle of the night. Talking midnight, 2 a.m. I'm a night owl.
Have you ever greased up a weasel?
Only my own. That's what Grandma says anyway.
Okay. What country should be established as a pedo prison colony? Or what state? You can say country or state. Your choice. I'll give you the option.
California for sure. Country, Mexico.
Okay. All right. What do you think from Barbara, from Barbara for you to see, or Barbara for you to RLX, or Barbara 2.0, also known as Barbara Horvat? You know what I'm talking about?
I do. She had some interesting content back in the day. I think I'm still subscribed. Watch every now and then.
Yeah, good. Why do you suck so much at Fortnite?
Because his ass won't stay alive, and he's my co-partner, and I can't carry the team all the damn time, you piece of. Also, we playing tonight?
I don't know. All right, so food or drink you have regretted eating or drinking?
Well, tequila, but
tequila, yes. Tequila again for the win.
No, I've snorted wasabi and pixie sticks.
Oh.
Definitely going to go with that.
Snorting wasabi.
Wasn't a wise idea, no?
No, I don't think so, man. I can totally see with that. Let's see. If you could buy any vehicle, what would you buy?
67 Mustang, black interior, hardtop.
Sweet. What do you think of Carol Danvers' movie?
You mean Captain Feminism?
Yeah.
I thought that the Terminator throwback at the end was kind of cool, but otherwise it was just a Marvel movie. I'm really worn out on Marvel's formulaic movies. So you've got the, oh, hey, everything's good. Oh, hey, friends are back together. Oh, no, there's something wrong. Oh, big bad guy showed up. Hey, heroes win the day. Oh, wait, gotta tease the new movie. And I would say there's a Stan Lee cameo somewhere in there, but, well.
Yeah. They're going to be virtual from now on.
Right.
Right? All right, SHEO, which is worse? 2 lesbian vampires fighting over a bloody tampon, or one live baby at the bottom of a pile of dead babies eating its way out? James Colley.
The bloody tampon.
Oh, fantastic. I totally concur. I mean, hungry baby, you got to eat. All right, so Hillary Clinton, AOC, and Maxine Waters walk into a bar. No kidding. Who would you fuck, marry, or Minecraft?
Well, because I don't want to get suicided. Kind of have to marry Clinton, not by choice. Fuck AOC because she's younger, and Minecraft Maxine.
Good old Maxine. I need a Maxine vaccine. Just saying. Johnny. All right. So Johnny Bonsaco asks, what's up with these legit questions? I know, man. Right? Where are we? Did I forget something? All right. Yeah, we got the Minecraft. Got that. How many danger noodles have you sent Becca?
Countless, and I will still continue to send them.
Yeah, danger noodles are also known as snakes, people. Becca is afraid of snakes. So if you really...
I have one for Becca.
Yeah?
Here's a good question. To get you guys in the mood. You are half deep in your mom and your dad is half deep in you. Do you push out to try to leave, or do you push in and hope he pulls out?
I'm confused. I don't know. Am I supposed to answer that? Or...
You are cock deep in your mom, and your dad is cock deep in you. Do you push out or push in?
Oh, I want to slide into another reality. That notion is very, very, very disturbing. You've disturbed me. All right, Mr. Dax wants to know, what is your favorite game, and why is it Super Seducer?
So, true story, I think Harry, maybe someone else actually did buy me Super Seducer 1. Never played it. Favorite game? Currently, probably NHL 21. All time, probably Skyrim.
Would you prefer power bottom or bottom bitch?
For you, Becca?
It's from Becca.
I'd prefer you to be the power bottom.
Ooh. Let's see.
Was that not how you meant that?
Oh, Lordy. Becca said, I was being good. We're not getting more questions rolling in, right? I'm gonna give you another count to 5 and we'll move on. And we're almost wrapping up. What's the weirdest thing you have done sexually? Madness wants to know.
So by myself, driving cross country with the family, stroked it in the back seat of a Jeep Cherokee. Didn't get caught. With the wife, probably in that same lake that we visited when I got fucked up. Yeah, we kind of got muddy in the muddy.
Got you. Hey, man, Sometimes you just got to bust a nut. And just,
Indeed.
you know. What? All right. So let's see. Oh, there it is. Why are you always innocent? Mr. Scott
Because
wants
I
to know.
am.
All right.
Because I am. I mean, it's really that honest. I can be morbid. I can be humorous, but I'm innocent.
All right. Did somebody ask? Because I see this conversation going on. All right. Who do you prefer better, Satsu or SDA? SHEO.
Satsu or SDA? Probably Satsu. I think they get along together better.
What's wrong with being innocent? Dr. Kidd wants to know.
Nothing wrong with being innocent, Scott. Shut up.
Have you ever done any jail time?
Nope. Nearly. So when I 16 or 17, my parents went to the casinos in Mississippi, and I hit a few slot machines, and then I was standing around watching my parents, and officer comes up and is like, "Hey, can I see your ID?" Well, apparently you have to be 18 to gamble in Mississippi.
Oh.
Huge long detained me, wouldn't let me call the parents, nothing, took away all my shit. Young and dumb, didn't know better. And eventually they finally just agreed to kick me out because at the time I was picked up, I wasn't gambling. However, they saw that I had been. Yeah, detained, I guess.
That was scary, I bet.
A couple run-ins with the military police for stealing as a child, but I mean, what preteen doesn't.
So all right, so we're back at YouTube. Who would you say is a criminally undersubscribed YouTuber? Excuse me, in this corner of the universe or the YouTuberverse?
Johnny and Moo. Johnny's a bit of a shithead, and Moo needs to have his balls drop, but they do have some engaging shows, and maybe lose the lisp that he has going on, but they have a good show. If they could keep it down to not 8-hour long streams.
I know, man. It's like. That's why I try to keep this show to it right at an hour and a half, because there's more chance that people will watch it if it's not 7 hours long.
Well, and I do a show of my own related to my hobby that we've gotten some critique that I'll explain afterwards. That we run too long. It's like, but the content that I watch is only 15 to 30 minutes. I'm like, okay, but that's cool. But he does it 5 days a week, so he's still running 2 hours long.
Right.
Hour and a half long, whatever. I'm with you on that. We try to shoot for an hour and a half each week, but sometimes we push longer.
Yeah, man. Sometimes it goes longer. Just the organic way that that it unfolds. This show's the same way, So I've gone almost 3.5 hours on this thing before.
The most we pushed was like 2:10, 2:15. But I mean, after some intro stuff, it's essentially just rapid fire, quick discussion between 3 people. Each is going to have their own opinion and discussion point on that topic. But if we have a lot of topics to talk about, or there's something major that's happened, we run long.
I got a lot of respect for Dr. Kidd. Yeah, that history there. Uzi got yeeted off of her channel for putting exactly those emojis up in there. Just saying.
Yeah, I remember there was a huge emoji issue where people were spamming whatnots, and then there was some controversy with SDA and a song that she agreed to sing. James Colley would fill you in there. Which, speaking of, come to find out, me and him share the same birthday.
Well, hey.
In late September.
James Colley seems cool.
Yes.
I haven't really formally met him yet, I don't think.
But I mean, late Christmas time in Minnesota, there ain't much to do but drink vodka. And, well, I'm a late September baby. I'll let you do the math.
Mm-hmm. So, all right. So, how about all right? So, who would you say is a YouTuber that's way overhyped?
And I don't mean this in a horrible way, but just because of the amount of content he puts out, Monkey. I love his streams. I love his chat.
So you say he's overhyped?
Just maybe over-contented in our sphere. Overhyped. I mean, any of the big guys, the Pauls, the PewDiePies, the gaming whatnot, the influencers, all of that shit. Gotcha. I ain't got time for it.
So what do you think will finally break the internet?
I mean, the internet is made for porn, and you don't fuck with cats or dogs or animals. But nuclear war. It's really strong, so I don't see it going down anytime soon.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, outside of some huge worldwide pandemic, well, I mean, war, not pandemic. I don't see it stopping. It's always going to constantly evolve, and there's going to be new technologies and new platforms and shit. But I don't see it stopping anytime soon.
Well, all right. So, do you have any content that you want to promote personally?
I mean, outside of subscribe to IRATE, obviously. I'm occasionally on Clippers United with Jack Kunsky. Obviously, occasionally, when Johnny's not being a shithead, I'm on Johnny and Moo's channel as well. I occasionally play some games with Johnny Hellcat, so up those peoples.
Yeah.
Also Becca. Why not?
Sweet. All right. So you really don't have a channel to show, but you do have a Twitter account, and there's a link to that in the description I'll put in there. And I apologize for misspelling your name earlier, but I did fix that. I fixed it. Okay. I caught it. Indeed. So do you have a final word for the chat and everybody watching, listening?
Final word? Fuck y'all. No.
I like that, man.
Go forth and spread joy and peace and be nice and don't be shitheads.
Oh, we
need to talk.
You're a sweetheart.
I try.
Do we need to talk? All right, and on that note, man, I don't have any other questions to ask you, man. You've done a fantastic job. Yeah, it's been an awesome show, I think. But it's like this is my baby, so it's like but it's what makes the show is you, right? Is the guest. The guest makes the show, and it's been fantastic. You've done a great job. I have no complaints, and you know what? I've got another thing coming up, and I'll probably hit you up later. So,
cool. Sweet.
You know what I'm saying? And on that note, let's say goodbye and get the hell out of here.
Sounds good to me.